god, did you see his numbers again? Yeah, he's been at the bottom for like a month.
Come on, you scrubs! To arms!
Lex might be a little too far from the mic. Maybe get a little closer.
It's touching my face.
Not another spider!
I was not protected. Oh yeah, that's one with fall damage.
I was standing in the pool because I thought we had the silted.
Ooh, fell asleep at my desk. And I drowned in the storm wave. Now.
No, Jim, I don't want to hear about your chaos bolt.
What, you want me to dispel? I don't even have that on my action bars.
Stop standing in the fire!
What fire?
Alright, pre-pot, and tricks to the trade. Oh, that was the healer.
What just killed me there? Yep, physical damage. So bad at playing a demon hunter.
Oh my god, we did it.
You're listening to Scrubs vs. the World with your hosts, Cyrub and Projali.
And welcome into the show, everyone. Tonight we are going to work on learning how to kill other people. In World of Warcraft, of course, not in real life. That's highly ill-advised. With the Technically PvP podcast team. And joining me is the co-host, as usual, Mr. Projali. How you doing, bud?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Great day. Had a great work week. I hung some pictures that were actually straight on my wall, so that was a good day.
That can be a challenge.
That is like... Asking me to hang pictures is like you're taking your wall's life into my own, like into my hands and risking everything. Because when you move the pictures, there's about 17 holes where I've screwed up the pole punches. But no, yeah, I got it all dialed in.
Toothpaste is what you need.
Toothpaste?
Yeah, you put toothpaste like a smack over it.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, dude.
That's a good idea.
That's the cheap man's spackle.
That's right.
Good. Do you use peppermint or wintergreen? I'm just curious.
It's better than Chinese drywall, right? So.
Oh boy! There you go. First tip.
There we go. Toothpaste.
Technically, home renovation.
Yeah.
So, and those two gentlemen are the Technically PvP team, and we have Gerrisar.
Heyo.
And we have Andallyn.
That's right. What's going on?
Another day in paradise. How you guys doing?
Man, we're great. It's a nice evening. We don't have to do stuff. We just get to sit here and talk. So I'm ecstatic. I don't know about you, Gerrisar, but
dude, my Sunday is so free right now. Right, otherwise I would be like pooping bricks because I'd be having to take care of all these F-bombs that are about to show up and all the other stuff, right? But instead, I get to sit back, just like you. Sit back, chat, listen to Cy and Projali. You guys did some phenomenal show notes here. Can't wait to run through and talk about PvP with you guys.
Yeah.
And
hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be awesome. And we're going to let the F-bombs and S-bombs roll, too, so I'd take too long to edit those out.
Fuck yeah. There you go.
Exactly.
Gotta get out of my system.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Well, no, just getting warmed up. Got to get loose. Don't want to pull any muscles halfway through.
Nothing's worse than having something on your hand when you're having to play World of Warcraft. Like having like an owie or something like that. I did that one day. Stupid thing. I ended up breaking my finger with something sharp. Mm-hmm. So I had this little on my index finger. So of course then I was like trying to move my mouse and click. Oh, by the way, don't be a clicker when trying to PvP. It hurts. Keybinds for a reason. But just like try to like move the camera and stuff like that, and just move around. Oh man, I was the worst.
That had to have sucked, man. I play guitar, and when I actually get cuts on my fretting hand, to get through my calluses, that is the worst.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Well, thankfully, I don't have any calluses on my hand. I don't know what else you do there, Cy, but thankfully, I don't have that problem. But I do get some little... I do cook, and sometimes I'm not so careful with the knives, so I'll say that.
Yeah. That'll happen. That will happen. So, Projali, what have you been up to in game lately? I know it's been a few weeks.
Yeah, so we are finishing up Mythic Council of Blood, moving on to Sludge Fist this coming week. Occasionally, when we can get enough people on, grinding the RBG rating up to 2100 so we can cash in on that delicious 226 loot. Since Mythic Raid drops, so few items at this point. PvP's honestly the easiest way, or the most consistent way to gear in this game right now. So that's essentially what we're doing. Occasionally getting on for some Mythic 15s. Not really pushing this week. Not a great push week. But yeah.
Nice.
How's your prance forward? You working on that?
What's that?
How's your prance forward and your boogie down? You working on that?
It's my shimmy's a little off, but everything else feels good.
Simply delicious.
Indeed.
Yes.
Oh man, that fight could go straight to hell.
Hey, really
I like it. I think it's the coolest one.
Do you?
Yeah, I mean, watch like from the outside looking in. Take this with a grain of salt. But it looks like it's the coolest one. It's the one that you like remember and you say, "Oh wow, that was really neat." It was unlike any other fights that I'm used to seeing come out from these raid tiers. So I thought it was really cool.
It is a pretty unique fight.
Yeah, it kind of has that Hansgar and Franzgar, or whatever the hell they're Hans and Franz from Blackrock Foundry feel. Like as far as like interesting standout pieces.
There's like a comedic element to it.
Belts. What was that?
There's a comedic element to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like going forward, I feel like that's how you're going to remember this tier. At least I will.
Right.
But
yeah, we call it the Haunted Mansion fight in our group. It's because when you walk in, you see the vampires dancing above the floor.
Oh yeah.
So it feels like the Haunted Mansion. I got a bunch of Disney friends that love Disney.
Yeah.
But yeah, that fight almost killed us in normal.
I have a question for Projali. So your raid team is doing your Mythic raid team is doing RBGs. Is what you said.
About 10 to 12 of us rotating through. Yep.
Okay. How were you finding the team work learning like were they already kind of PvPers or are they like learning how to RBG and PvP as PvEers? Like I'm wondering about that.
So, I think we have about 1 to 2 people in the guild who are Gladiator level players. Everybody else, throughout their WoW careers, they've played a lot of Battlegrounds, and so they know the basic strategies. However, when we start getting into multiple stealthies to rotate for flags, or whatever, backcapping, those sorts of kind of unique strategies, or how you handle team fights and target calls, like a lot of that is new to people, and so sometimes we do get too many cooks in the kitchen on the mics, and team fights turn south real quick in some cases, but it's people have adapted pretty well, because I think a lot of us have enough experience at that kind of around 2K rated level that they may not be experts in RBGs, but they're picking up some of the strategies a little easier.
You just put them on boomkins, right?
Yeah, we run 5 boomkins.
Yes.
Oh!
And an HPAL, right?
yeah, HPAL, we get the bop.
Yep.
We
oh, you
go
Aura Mastery.
Divine, Aura Mastery, yeah.
Just, whoa.
Interrupt this, my friends. Yeah.
That's horrible. I saw a picture over on the Oasis I think it's Oasis Discord. It was a screenshot, and the enemy team was 2 Holy Pallies and I think 5 Ret Pallies. Yeah. It was just it was the new meta.
And the prop pally ceiling, yeah.
No, I think they're actually 2 solid. They're actually Holy Pallies. So in total, there was like 7 Pallies in one RBG team.
They could have been stronger. Just go prot. Why would you play Holy now?
Yeah, right. We learned that today this weekend. That was crazy. Mm-hmm. Do you guys know what we're alluding to?
I have no idea.
The prop paladin healing, yeah.
So there was there was a team on the AWC yesterday, right? Where so normally a team on the Arena World Cups, they're 2 DPS and 1 healer. Mm-hmm. This one was a prop paladin and 2 DPS.
Oh wow!
And the prop paladin actually comparably healed, and they took it to I think 71% dampening. It ended up going to a 2v2 situation at one point. It was an amazing game. It was an amazing game.
Wow!
It was Creed versus Reload Esports. If anybody hasn't, go check it out. It was the Friday game, EU Season 1, Cup 2, Reload Esports versus Creed.
Midway through the VOD,
yeah.
Well, they're broken up into match, so
You go over their YouTube channel, you can see it. But no, I was just kind of curious because I've heard the same thing where a lot of PvE-orientated guilds, because of the much reduced Shadowlands loot drops, which we're going to talk about this again later, but just how much they have, because of that reduced gearing, a lot of people have felt the need to then also do PvP because of the consistency of the gearing.
Exactly.
And it's noted, I mean, this being Season 1, everybody's very gear dependent, that a heroic or a mythic level team with that 200 plus eye level is that much more DPS and that much stronger that they're able to at least get to some solid PvP CR to be able to access that good level gear as well. So I find it interesting. I've always wondered how people have been feeling about that, having to go into PvP and do something they didn't really enjoy per se, just for the gear. So
right,
yeah, no, and I play with my wife, and so she's not a raider, but because of PvP, like we've been able to get her geared up a little bit.
Yeah, so
it's been really nice.
For sure.
Yeah, but we'll definitely hit on that in a little bit. But
sorry,
Andallyn, what have you been up to in game this last couple of weeks?
I think I've just been running RMP into the floor, and that's starting to reconsider life choices. I think our arena squad is going to try to look at running something a little bit different, and we're just kind of playing around with some different options. I'm probably going to be meandering my way back to that Holy Paladin that I'm usually maining, and yeah, especially with this like new edition of Final Form. So like the Necrolord's Soulbind, the very last ability that you can use in Necrolord is Final Form in one of your Soulbinds, and essentially it allows you to be immune to CC while you have Fleshcraft Shield up.
Yep.
So
so it's cheater mode then.
Well, we're having a hard time already, like executing very clean triple CCs across certain teams. Now the problem is those certain teams are just abundant across the ladder. Like, why does every match have to have an Ellie Sham? It seems like, and so it was just like, why are we doing this to ourselves? Let's just play something a little simpler. So, but yeah, that's what I've been up to. So,
you're telling me elemental shamans are good in PvP?
Hell yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
they're
absolutely
essential in a lot of threes teams.
Yeah.
See, I main a shaman, and I am hot garbage. So if you run across me in a team, you're going to win for sure.
Well, hey, man. I mean, it's the eye of it's all in the eye of the beholder, right? So, yep. I mean, you can walk in there, and if you can read me like a book to say, yo, look at this loser. He's got combust. I'm just gonna ground his combust. Look at him. I mean, you could just laugh all day long at me. So
yeah,
or my mage. Yeah.
I heard some of the recent hotfixes reintroduced the Wind Fury bug for Shaman though, where they're getting double Wind Fury again. Yeah,
interesting.
Because Enhance needed some help on the burst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Enhance not only Enhance on patch day or on reset day is going to get a 5% DPS increase straight across the board. Yeah. That's what they're talking. So
yep,
as long as several other classes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the
shaman all the things, baby.
Yeah, like me some thunder, a little lightning, a little thunder.
Yeah,
right. Awesome.
Get some Imagine Dragons going, and there you go, the shaman song.
Shameless, absolutely shameless.
Got to get the games where you can, right?
That's right.
Coming from the man who's talking about RM Pala all day, all the time. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. Trust me, if I could be running RM Pala, I would. But I'm on this priest, so yeah. It's okay. The priest is fun. Mind games is a really cool ability.
Okay.
I very enjoy. Yep. You need to talk about this, man? Do we need to
want to talk about mind games?
Do you guys want to start a new section in your podcast, the counseling session or something?
Yeah, there's a 5-minute therapy session for victims of mind games. You may be entitled to compensation.
Yeah, right. Maybe cue some Sarah McLachlan music.
My name is Andallyn, and I play a priest in PvP. Hi, Andallyn. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Too funny.
Oh man. So Gerrisar, how about you? What have you been up to in game lately?
Not a lot actually.
He's a phony, man.
Yeah, no. I've been so busy out of game right now, just spending time with my wife, doing stuff. That by the time it gets around to actually doing, by the time I actually log on, it's at best I can check my auction house stuff. Maybe go for a kill or two. Oh, I was gonna say this for our podcast, but I finally, after 132 recorded kills on my monk, I finally got the Thundering Serpent from Hulan on the Timeless Isle.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Congrats.
They said it couldn't be done.
Yeah.
Well, you said it couldn't be done.
I was really getting worried there for a bit. Oh man. So yeah. This time I was lucky enough. There was a mage, another mage showed up, and so we were grouped up together. And literally, he must have had some script going, because as soon as Hulan showed up, boom, dead, and then we were looting, and it dropped. Man, I thought I was dreaming at one point. I was like, God, okay, all right, go over. I click on it, and all of a sudden, bing, alerts go off. We got the big banner. Ah!
So that's so awesome.
Oh yeah. I'm
nice.
I was so ecstatic about it, and then I felt bad for the mage because obviously he did the work, right? And I'm like, well, good luck to you.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Did you get on it and fly away?
No, I'm not that much of a dick.
Wow.
Check this out.
What I did do though is I went running around and I hopped on a seagull. And went up to Garnia because I still don't have the ruby droplet, so that's my next farming spot. So doing that.
Nice.
Other than that, I mean, really, I think I logged on and did some world quests and maybe a couple callings or emissary quests, whatever you want to call them these days. Did a few of those, but yeah, didn't even get a chance to really PvP much. I was even today. I was gonna I'm like, oh, I gotta get some PvP done. I'm gonna be on a podcast. I gotta do some PvP. I gotta talk about it. And then instead, I end up spending all day binge watching The Magicians with my wife. So,
that's such a good show.
That's a good show.
God,
I love that show.
It's we just got into season 3, so I know it's not in game, but yeah. So
no, it's still fun.
Oh, it's been great. How about you, Cy?
Yeah.
We all talked. What have you been up to?
Yeah. So I've been climbing the towers of Torghast. So the wife and I have been doing the Twisted Corridors, which we had a fun conversation about last show.
Yeah.
I love that mode in the game. I think it's one of the coolest things they've ever done. I just wish they would give us a little something in case we die. Because it takes us 2.5, 3 hours to finish these things, like a whole raid night.
Yeah.
Like more lives?
What was that?
Like more lives?
No, just some anima or something, you know?
Oh, in case it's just straight up failed, the jailer comes and eats you.
Wah, wah.
You get to the last
here's
boss.
5 soul ash.
Well, it's the jailer's boy, or his minion comes and eats you. Yeah, right.
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but yeah, it's one of those big beef dudes that comes
beefy
in.
boys, yeah.
Just one-shots you. Unless you run to the next level. But if you're on the last boss, then you're toast.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. But we got through layer 5.
Okay.
We're starting to feel the pinch, I think. I think layer 6 is going to be a little more difficult than we're hoping. Okay. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. That's where the PvP gear comes in handy here in a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But then my raid team, the Knights of Chipotle, we
God, I love that.
we are working on heroic Nathria right now. We got to Lady Enerva. This is the second week in a row we hit the Lady Enerva wall. And I stream it every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time. You can come check it out, twitch.tv/Cyrub. And so I'm the heal team leader for the group. And so I'll do the calls and all that stuff and then just explain kind of what we're thinking in between. I don't have my Discord coming through it because sometimes we say stupid things and my friends, they don't want to be on the internet saying stupid things. So it's just me, and sometimes I just sit there and, that could be boring, I guess. But, I try to do a decent job explaining the strat, and then I listen to what Projali will come in sometimes and be like, hey, did you guys, go to this side of the room and not just spread everything everywhere? And, of course, no. That's not fun. So why don't we do that?
Why do it the easy way?
Right? The blood pools are supposed to be everywhere. That's the whole point.
Just chaos.
Yeah. You're just trying to recreate the blood splatter pattern, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's more realistic.
So we got her to 7%.
Oh!
And that was and it's just like, oh my god. And we just keep getting bad luck. The beams, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with that fight, but when she focuses on the vat where she kicks out the beams, so it creates a triangle usually. And so the
2 triangles, yeah.
Yeah, when she gets to that vat, the arms of the triangle start spinning. And so you have to not get hit by that.
Yeah.
And that's what's killing us. And so mix that with the bottles being thrown on the ground, leaving a pool, and you have yourself a nice little recipe for everyone dying at the very, very end. So next week we'll get her.
That reminds me of super hard mode Obsidian Sanctum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the flame waves, yeah.
Yeah. And then you got the laser beam that... Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It hurts.
Yep.
Everything's more fun with lasers, though, right?
That's true.
Freaking laser beams, man.
Laser beams. Fog and lasers and acid.
I don't know. Do you guys raid 2 or 3 nights a week?
We just do 1.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I was going to say, I thought I might be in your guild, because I think I raid Chipotle 2 to 3 nights a week, and I just didn't even realize it. So, wow. Small world.
The carnitas.
Yeah, I know. It's a double chicken kind of night, dude. I mean,
Yeah, so now we have some tips and tricks on how to get more chicken out of your double chicken.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So when they dump the first scoop on, you go, oh yeah, I wanted a double chicken after they do the first scoop. Because when you say double, they kind of hold back a little.
Yeah, they give you like a 3/4 scoop, a 3/4 scoop. Yeah.
Right? So they give you a full 1 to 1 in, maybe a 10th scoop. And then you're like, oh yeah, I wanted a double. So then they'll come back and you'll get more chicken that way.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Smart.
Secret of the pros.
Yeah, and then that one lady will be like, this guy, I'm going to give him a half scoop for his double chicken. I'm like, no!
Do you understand, madam, that I am a knight of Chipotle?
The king will hear about this.
Send this one, tar and feathering, yes.
If the knights who say neat demand shrubberies, what do the knights of Chipotle demand?
Free guac.
Yep.
Yep, perfection.
There you go.
That's fantastic.
Guacamole! Yes.
I demand some guacamole!
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's too funny.
Yeah, the guild's gonna love that.
There you go.
Too true.
I have to admit, that's pretty impressive, though. If you guys only play one night a week, I think and doing heroic up to Lady Niver, that's kudos. Hats off to you.
Yeah, I mean, we have AOTC every time you can get it, I think, except for Dragon Soul, because that was kind of our break period, but...
Yeah.
I think Dragon Soul broke a lot of people, too.
Yeah. Well, we were having
Yeah.
personnel issues, and people were having like real life problems back then. So, Like it was like real life situations kind of got in the way, and
Yeah.
people had to take breaks and whatnot. But then we came back, and we've been doing it ever since. So
That's awesome.
it's fun.
Awesome.
Very
nice.
That's a very long-standing raid team. Then that's epic.
Yeah,
So,
we actually hang out.
Are you playing Resto Shaman or are you playing Ellie Shaman in your raids?
I am a Resto Shaman in the raids.
Okay.
So I do Ellie for everything else, but
You
in
should
the
do
raid, I
Resto
heal.
Shaman in Torghast. Resto Shaman in Torghast, for whatever reason, pops off. Like, my rogue that I'll run with, he'll do 50k DPS in Torghast. Sometimes as Resto Shaman, I'll beat him.
Oh yeah. See, and I haven't figured it out yet. But in Elemental, I figured out how to get a constant beam of meatballs. So it's just lava burst city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Resto Shaman does a similar type of thing. And it's like the white abilities are the best ones. Like,
right?
Not even the epic ones. And you get the totem that, I
the totem that
love
gives
the
you
Shaman
hero.
abilities. Yeah, heroism every
then-
15 seconds. Like, that's
Oh,
wild.
it's beautiful. And then you do, so you do that one. You get the lava burst one. So every time it procs, it gives you a percentage buff, and it drops the cooldown of lava burst.
Yes.
And
the
then
one that makes the flame shock tick 40% faster. That one is dirty.
You get your lava surges every half second. Yeah.
it's ridiculous. And then you get the increased haste on top of heroism. I mean, it's
so much
baby.
fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Who finishes their Torghast run and walks out and then feels like a hobo?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. My balance,
I really
balance
wanna
druid is the
see-
same way.
I think, honestly, I would love to do this. This is like, when I was back doing Resurgent, this would be something we totally would have done, but I don't know. I'm a loser now. Like, I don't do cool things anymore. So, like, it'd be so cool if there was a game mode or even like an esport mode where you had two people or two, like, 2v2s or 3v3s, and what they had to do was they had to go do the Torghast, and you got to, like, once each team finished off, you had to fight each other, see who would win.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I think it'd be so cool. And it'd be like, the faster you finish or something, you just, like, gain, like, a passive, like 1% stats every, like, 2 minutes. You sit there and wait for the other team to finish up or something like that.
You just vaporize them.
Oh my,
That'd be so much fun, man.
That's just dirty. That's awesome.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah,
It'd
it would
be
be.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'd do that. Why not?
I'm just trying to think how you would like figure out when the person's other buff started what team started ticking a buff up, just based on the two team difference and just.
I mean, you could do it if you wanted to do it right now. You'd have to do it with two people. They run the same Torghast, and then they just duel essentially right when they are done. I think.
Yeah.
Like at the very end on a platform.
Oh my gosh.
On the final boss room, right?
As if PvP isn't fast enough. Like.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's like, well, haha, joke's on you. I've killed like 60 Maw rats, so I've got like 80k health.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Just have like, or be like a DK and have a bunch of Maw rats and just suck them all in and blow them up all at the same time and just watch people.
See, that would be a good use of those because the Marats suck because they just run everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
It's actually, that's what I play with my Frost DK in there, and it's so much fun. As I grab a bunch of Maw rats and all with me, and I do the Necro Lord ability, so it's the arm just grabs everything, so they try to run away, they don't go anywhere, and I just nail one of them, and all of a sudden like that one pops off, so they all blow up. Oh yeah, it's like, and it's just all these health bars just go.
Yeah,
gone.
The dominoes.
It's so fun. If like doing Torghast feels like, I don't know if you guys ever done like a long road trip, but when you're driving like 80 miles an hour for 4 hours and then you get off the freeway and you have to drive 20 and you're like, this doesn't feel right. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, like I said, I feel like a hobo when I come out of there.
Yeah, I do too. So diving into PvP, like what do you guys, what is your favorite PvP modes? And Gerrisar, let's start with you.
Overall, my favoriteest mode has got to be RPGs. Just working with a team of people, doing this was so much fun. Frustrating as heck. Don't get me wrong. Like running into some walls, some personality issues, stuff like that definitely was. But just doing the team fights, and then in the meantime, running objectives, somebody over here doing something, and the constant like everybody's talking and figuring stuff out, just phenomenal. I absolutely loved doing that. Unfortunately, I think the last time I significantly did that was back in Legion. Didn't really do it during BFA, and I want to get back into it, but again, just time-wise right now, it's just been my Achilles heel. So I'd say, although it's my favorite, I'm more playing just unrated BGs, just random stuff, because, you know, log in, queue up, boom, pop, run in there, win, lose, nothing. You know, there's some people who get some hard feelings going on in instance chat, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. And you won or lost, and you walk away from it. You still get some honor, regardless. You know?
Yeah.
You obviously do better if you win, but you can't get overly choked up for just something like that. It's just, as long as you don't let it run on get you the wrong way, and just realize what you're playing, good to go.
Yeah. So. Now, usually when I jump into those, I always go, okay, what the hell do I need to do? Because I don't want any, battleground heroes calling me a dumbass at the end of this thing if we lose.
Yeah.
So.
Regardless of what people say, though, fighting on the road is sometimes actually a valid strategy. Not always, but sometimes it actually is.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
Sometimes.
Yep.
Andallyn, how about you? What's your favorite PvP mode?
I like arenas, man. Arenas is what drew me into PvP to begin with. I mean, it's a tough one because I also love RPGs. I think I've gotten higher RPG rating than I have ever gotten arena rating, so it's like, well, there's that. But as you go through seasons and different times, it's not comparable. 1900 feels like 2400 in arenas right now. So it's just kind of, yeah, it's just how it is. So, but yeah, I love the 3v3 arena. I personally, I like the fact that that my play is kind of exposed. I don't have to rely on someone else to do their job, or or a couple other people to do their jobs, like I do in an RPG. I like the more autonomous type of position where my fate is more so in my own hands in a smaller arena setting, and my play has much more of an impact on the outcome of the game. So I find that way more enjoyable, and it drives me a little bit more. And there's no better feeling than when you just pull off the cleanest kill in an arena setting, and it's like, oh my god, dude, they should have won. There's no way we should win this game, but we have them dead to rights. So
that's awesome. That is awesome. Projali, how about you?
It's been fun getting into the RPGs again this season, but they are the one that probably tilts me the most out of any game mode I've played in my WoW career.
Really?
Yeah, I think my most memorable is vanilla Alterac Valleys, where you'd go to bed, you'd get home from school again the next day, and they'd still be turtled at the bridge, at the Alliance bridge. Yeah. But yeah. I don't know. Threes feels the best to me. I feel like when I play threes, I feel the most satisfied in terms of the couple hours I'd spend on PvP'n. So
nice.
Fair.
Nice.
Yeah, I like the big battlegrounds.
Oh, the epics?
Like the epic ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my philosophy when I play games, so everything I do, I'm a team guy, right? I'm going to come off the bench and get you 6 points and 3 rebounds and a couple assists. I'm not going to go 19 for 22 and score 60 points. That's not how I roll. I like when there's big groups, I'm protected from my playstyle because I'm super slow motion guy because I do PvE mostly. But doing a winter grasp or something, I find the most joy out of that because I like when a bunch of little teams run around and do things together. Because for me, there's nothing more frustrating than when one person takes over an entire battleground, or you're playing Call of Duty or something, and you're playing that one 12-year-old who runs around with a damn shotgun and somehow seems to find you every time you spawn again. That's just not how I play. So I like having the big army feel. That's kind of what I like to do. So a bunch of little squads doing a bunch of little skirmishes and trying to achieve goals. So.
Definitely.
I think that's fun.
I do enjoy the big battlegrounds, the big epics. I find Winter Grasp tilts me because I remember what it was like during Wrath of the Lich King, and it's just not there. There's like, if you're I don't know how many times I because this normally I was playing Alliance. This X pack I decided to main Horde, and when I queue up on just random and epic battlegrounds, and I queue into Wintergrasp, and we're on defensive, I'm like, well, that was some free honor. Like it's guaranteed.
Yep. Yeah.
Same with Isle of Conquest right now. It's like, all right, I know I'm going, just go and do my thing, and I know I'm going to win.
Yeah, see what my wife's doing. Yeah.
Yeah. See you later.
Yeah.
Well, no, I still
just go kill people.
Yeah.
Just go kill things and have a good time.
Yeah, I find Wintergrass. There's something there. I think it's the I don't know, the walls are just a little. They have a little bit too much HP, or and the way they take damage from the siege weapons versus what you take as a player. It just doesn't seem balanced. It seems like I don't know. There's something there. But it just seems way too hard to actually bash down a wall and actually get into the fortress.
I think that's because the coordination on the attacking team normally is just like it requires it to be much higher. If you actually push like as a group of machines and not just as a line, so it's like, oh wait, hold on guys, don't keep going. Press W once they're like this one's half health. Like if you have a coordinated assault attack team, I think you win.
Fair. I do.
But I know what you mean.
I do find whenever it's Alliance and we're on the attacking mode, I feel like as the Alliance team, we just feed the Horde on defense all the kills, so then they immediately have siege weapons, and then they're just rolling through us, while our team is maybe getting a demo, maybe because somebody else over here was actually doing the smart thing and just killing NPCs to get the ranks up, but they just it seems like people they haven't understood that yet, even though it's been months and it's not like this battleground is new yet, right? But
right. Well, it's been there for a decade now, so
yeah.
Well, there was a small gap there where nobody played it anymore.
That's true.
True.
So,
well, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I went to lunch and being a battleground hero. I don't know. But it irks me. It irks me. Well, like I said,
why aren't you capping sunken, bro? Everyone go to sunken, bro.
Oh my god!
Everybody goes sunken, and then half the team runs over to the
they go to the other one.
Not even the right graveyard.
Yeah, exactly.
I find sometimes if I want people to do something, I say the opposite, and then they go do that. It feels like sometimes
it's true. Yeah, there's that.
That could just be Alliance, though. If I'm being honest,
you're not my
dad. Gonna say it, but yeah,
you're not my Andallyn. Andallyn. You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, what are you trying to say, man?
Sorry, Freudian slip.
Right?
Yeah, quite the Freudian slip. Indeed. Yes.
Anyways,
so. How do you guys feel about the current state of PvP? So, Andallyn, you mentioned that the arenas feels, you're only getting to 1,600, but it feels like you're going into 3,000 range.
No,
of course, I was exaggerating.
1,900 2K, but it feels like 24. And it's like even it feels the same whether or not you're playing like 1,900 MMR or whether or not your MMR is 2,200. It feels like you're playing the same type of skill rating players, and I don't really know why that is per se. I guess it's like all these people. I don't know. This is kind of digging a little bit deeper into the conversation and kind of fast forwarding a little bit. But I think the way that at least arenas and PvP is right now is it's not something that like is a revolving door. It's very much a like a tower thrust way up into the sky that like just has a few neckbeards, and if you're one of those neckbeards that's up there, like you're just washed up, just complaining all the time, and you're gonna play your alt because you're a multi-glad, or maybe a multi-glad from this season, or I bought my glad back in BC or whatever, like all this stuff, and it's just like, and now they're playing their alts and stuff like that. So I think what you're getting is a lot of the same kind of player base, just pushing through multiple characters and stuff like that. And so that's why you kind of create like this pocket of like just raiding striation. But I digress. I think it is tough in that regard, but I like that. I like that arenas you're going to be able to have fun, and it's a really rewarding and really enjoyable play mode. So,
is there anything you'd like to see changed?
Absolutely,
like to try to get. Because you mentioned it feels like it's just a roadblock of good players. Like, I mean, do you think they could change the rating system somehow? Maybe make it. I don't know if you want to do account wide ratings. That might be bad, but something along those lines, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of have to think about that. I don't know if necessarily those are good ideas, because like some of those ideas have a lot more implications. Not even just implications; they might even have bigger consequences, or even unintended consequences that might just be actually way worse than the actual problem itself. So I wouldn't want to go too overboard with anything like that. But I think something that I would like to see is I would like to see a better. We've talked about this several times on our show. Just being able to communicate and have open lines of communication, and feeling like there's a PvP dev presence in the community that's actively actively reassuring, and also actively being and engaging, saying like, hey guys, look, we play our own game too. We notice some inadequacies. There's a lot of there's some issues that we're addressing, like one of the biggest things that I'll explain to you right here is one of the there's a known bug that's been around for a long time. That's if you're in an arena, and let's say I'm the priest, right? If I mind control somebody, and they set that mind control for whatever reason, there's this bug in arenas where that person will start like just stuttering across the screen, and they do it for like the rest of the game.
Oh wow!
And it's very tough. It's very annoying, because you'll be on a pillar and they'll just be like pew 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 pew. They'll just be like bouncing all around this pillar, and it's it's so frustrating. So like, it happened actually in the esports stage on the Arena World Championship, and the chat's just losing their mind. They're like, "Oh my god, the MC bug, and all this stuff," and we're all just like, "Oh god," Yeah. So, but imagine the difference. I feel like if you have a dev presence that's actually saying, "Guys, like, we see this problem. We're working through a few issues to figure out how to resolve this issue." If you have, I'd love to get to a point where maybe if they had a forum or area that was like, hey, I'll refer you to this thread to see like updates on this problem and stuff like that. Imagine how nice that would be. It's like, we have Twitter and all these things like Blizzard CS and all this stuff, like customer service, that lets the community and player base know, like, hey, we're having an issue with login servers currently.
Right.
And they're quick on that. And because without that, they'd be like, oh my gosh, Blizzard, what are they doing? It's small indie company. Like,
right.
But to be able to have that kind of presence on the forums for known issues and stuff like this would be a huge step in the right direction. But of course, if you don't have people, then it's tough to do.
Kind of makes it hard to,
Robots can't. That was long-winded, but yeah.
No, that's great. I think that's a great idea.
If only they had some sort of a team of people for communicating with the public.
You mean like the community development team?
Maybe. I'm not. I know.
I mean, Lore is great. He's great. But I know he would say that's not my job.
Yeah,
and he's right.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I miss the water coolers. I miss the dev conversation. I miss
the summits. Yeah.
The summits. I miss the blog posts that let us know what they're thinking, what they know about, what they're dealing with. Saying, I would just jump on that. Like it's been nothing. They weren't really talking to us during beta. People were commenting, saying what their thoughts were, and then all of a sudden, boom, change. Hey, they're listening to us. Oh my god, they're listening to us. And it's like, yeah, of course they're listening to us. They're reading, they're seeing these things, right? We knew it, right? But again, it's just been there's no like I cannot imagine what my household would be like if my children were yelling at me or telling me that there's something wrong in the household and I didn't even respond to them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I wouldn't even be able to run my household like that.
Yeah, I think to make it more realistic, you would imagine that your children were paying you rent to live in your house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It just turns into a bad renting situation.
Yeah, exactly. True. Terrible landlord.
Hey man, the faucet's leaking. There's mold.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 months later, the mold's gone. Did you what?
Hey, we brought you a new dish towel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put this bucket under the sink.
But the faucet, don't worry, we've got a floor mat coming for you next week.
Yeah. There you go.
Maybe it'll be a month or two, but it'll be there eventually. DM.
Next week, we're going to make a small tweak so the drip's going to be a little bit slower.
Yeah.
Yep. 5% decrease to the leak
to the leak speed. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. It's kind of true though. That's kind of how it feels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I do miss the communications as well. I think it's... I mean, we put a lot of time into this thing, and a lot of people care deeply about this game. And I think that's a small thing, just to help, garner goodwill across the player
Especially
base.
When you start to compare it to some other types of situations, like some of the guys over at in like RuneScape, or you compare it to some of the community teams from like Epic Games or GGG with Path of Exile, you start to see like it's actually larger than we realize. And I don't mean this as any kind of like slight to Blizzard or anything like that. I love Blizzard. Like their games have made such a huge impact on my life. But I think it's also worth stating, and it's a true fact to say that, hey, there's something seriously lacking here. And you look at how involved the community and dev team and the dev presence in GGG is in Path of Exile, and how they actively, through their actions, show that they want to be engaged in the player base, and they want the player base to feel like they're actively like playing the game with them. It makes a huge difference. And that's it's not like it's just like this pie in the sky idea that, hey, player base, you guys need to keep your expectations a little more realistic,
Right. Well, and it touches too on like arena PvP, for example. I mean, that's their esports like bread and butter. I mean, I know there's the Mythic Challenge or the
it's their flagship content, absolutely.
Yeah, like that is the thing that drives this on the esports level. And if it's you're mind controlling somebody and they're stuttering around, that's just a bad look. Like, and if you're trying to compete with other games, especially, like that's something that needs to be addressed. And because I mean, this like PvP to me is kind of like the last like bastion of the old school. Holy crap! Look at this guy's raid gear thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I remember playing Classic and looking and seeing I think a Tauren came through and wiped out Stormwind once in a T1 Shaman, and I was like, holy shit, look at that! How did he get that? I want that. And so, like, Arena kind of feels like that's the last area where you can really stand out and, stand on the proverbial mailbox and have everyone look and go, oh yeah, look at you.
Yeah.
So,
big dick in a locker room kind of thing. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Check out my EP'n.
Yeah. It's so girthy.
I would say in today's market of selling carries, the likelihood of getting a carry all the way to Glad status is like you'd have to spend a ton of gold.
It's a lot of gold, yeah.
Yeah, that is some expensive carry. Versus the cost to get a carry for a mythic kill, I think it's peanuts compared to what it would cost to get a gladiator carry. So I would say definitely like, and if you're getting a gladiator amount and or even higher where you're getting rank 1, like that is some serious EP'n in game compared to PvE. So
right. Well, and with transmog and stuff, like gear doesn't really like, oh cool, I got that too, just green.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, So, you have the season whatever gear. Oh, wait, that's just the LFR. Is the you don't have the mythic coloring to that. It's like yeah. Still looks good.
Exactly. Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah,
basically.
Projali.
Yeah.
So again, I'm going to lean into you on this. What do you feel about the current state? I want to throw that kind of question at you.
After coming from late BFA arenas, I think it's a better state because it was either super long dampening games. For those who don't know what dampening is, it's a progressive mechanic in arenas that the longer the fight goes, the less effective healing can be done. So you just wait until you're 10, 20 minutes into the arena before you can actually kill the other team. Or you get caught out with a Vision of Perfection proc from the Destro Lock. They get another extra Infernal and hit you with a one-shot Chaos Bolt. It's tons of fun in 8.3. I think this tier, there are very bursty classes. You know, Ret Paladin, Fire Mage Combust is really crazy right now. A Rogue catching you off in their opener with Smoke Bomb. Like there's a lot of one-shot opportunities. People complain about Balanced Druid Convoke. I'm a little biased on that one, but I think there are larger damage burst windows for the Balanced Druid if they know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. You can kick the Convoke and still die to that opening CA. But there's a lot of classes that have high burst potential right now. Windwalker, I don't know. You can keep naming the list. A lot of classes are viable, I think, in threes right now. You don't see every class at the top. Like, once you get past 2400, it narrows down to your kind of traditional comps. But I think it's more fun. I think it's better to get into a match and lose quickly to a setup and go again than it is to grind it out 15 minutes in and then just lose because they had their cooldowns back up.
Fair. Yeah. I think a lot of people agree to that. There's a number of people that I've seen in the community saying how, yeah, it's more bursty. Yeah, the games are way faster. Yes, there's some comps that, you know, the whole prop pally issue and some other things, but even when they're losing, they're still having fun. Like I said, the 15-minute game to lose to some random Brock was not a fun game in BFA. Season 1 of BFA, I think, was definitely more fun than the last season, just because corruption and everything and where the game ended up going.
Sure.
Corruption.
So I think that makes a very simple. It's definitely better. Looking at what BFA ended at and where we're at now is definitely an easy. It's night and day difference.
I think it's a good rule of thumb. Sorry. It's a good rule of thumb. If everything feels like it's strong, that's normally a good indicator that PvP is in a good situation.
Yeah.
If you feel like you can start naming and counting the number of classes that are irrelevant or like don't even bother PvPing, that's when you know the PvP is not in a good state. And this is pretty true like across every expansion since BC. Whenever it's felt like several classes are really strong or it feels like everything is broken, that's good. That's an indicator that PvP is in a good spot. So, I mean, despite the fact that there are some tuning changes that need being addressed, and some of the recent changes raise a few eyebrows. So the presence or maybe lack thereof of some changes. PvP is still in a really good spot.
That's the consensus I have amongst my guildies too, who PvP a lot. They have a lot of fun. They keep trying to get me to go in, and I'm just like, guys, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just gonna be your boat anchor. Because my wife and I went in. Yeah, we did two. No, we had my son too. So it was my wife, my son, and I. We went in and did the arena skirmishes weekly quest for the anima, and we did like 45 games. We were stoked when we survived long enough to get 45 honor. So that was a good game for us, and we killed one guy who I think was AFK. And the rest of the time, it was they would come right at me, murder my face, and then chase down my wife and kid and kill them in front of me. Horribly.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. That sounds like the Gladiator movie all over again.
Oh, right.
It's basically that. We'd be like, oh no, I'm potted. Oh, you're dead.
Yeah.
Oh, they're killing my pod. Yeah.
So you're playing Ellie Shaman in those, right?
Well, yeah. So it depends on the comp or who I'm playing with. So like, if I'm playing with friends, they'll say, "Hey, go resto," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll put the target right on my back. It's fine." And then when I go in and do twos, I'll do Ellie.
Okay. So I'm just trying to imagine this. So you're playing. You're saying the other night there you're playing skirms with your wife and son. What was the comp? What were you guys running?
So I was a resto sham. Mm-hmm. She was a marksman hunter, and my son was a survival hunter. So I think that was our problem there. Mix that with my son still learning how to play the game. So I mean, I can take him through dungeon. He does just fine in dungeons.
Yeah.
World content, you name it, we got that covered. But we get into like PvP. Feels like I'm trying to like do a 100-meter dash, but I'm walking the whole time while everyone else is sprinting very quickly, and I don't know what's happening.
I think
it feels like.
Yeah, I think that's very common. I think that's the problem. That's a problem. That's very common with people that are just coming into PvP, where they do a dungeon, they feel confident that they can know their ability, they know their class, but when you're running into a dungeon, there's not a lot of pressure, right? There's some pressure to do well, right. But really, I mean, aside from like some boss fights or if the tank pulls too big, that's about the only time it really kind of gets a little scary, right? Yeah. So I think that's the one thing that is the big discourager for people getting seriously into PvP is that uncomfortability of coming from a position where you feel okay in your class, and you go into there and you just get murdered repeatedly, and you're not sure why, because there's nothing that really says there's no feedback, right? At best you can open up your recap if you know and take a look at there and see what you died to, but if you don't even understand what happened or why that happened, then definitely and because it's a team thing as well,
right? Then
you have to also ask your teammates, hey, what could have you done differently,
right?
And not have somebody immediately go defensive and go, what do you mean? What, you were the one that died, man? You crashed. Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah,
when
you pulled too soon.
Yeah,
try pressing your buttons, dude.
Yeah,
that's my favorite one, dude. I love to use that one.
Okay, so who here has ended a PvP whatever, died, let's say arena, and died, and looked down and still saw you had a cooldown, or your trinket was still up, or something where you're like, shoot.
All the above.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And
well,
when
here's how my arena goes.
you're shaking your head at me. I know it. You're just in the back of your head. You're like, come on, Gerrisar.
No, I've definitely done this myself plenty of times.
Okay. I thought that look was like,
Yeah.
Man, Gerrisar's a really noob.
Like, I'll give you guys an example of an audio of me doing an arena.
Okay.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. No. Oh god. Shit. Wrong button. I'm dead. Like, that's literally what it is. Like, that's how it... And I think it's because I'm not used to being rushed, like you're saying. Like, in a dungeon, I'm a healer, so I'm always away from the action.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can pace what you're doing, right?
Right.
Yep. So let me know what you think about this type of take. Okay. Let me know what you think about that. I want to get your opinion, especially you, Projali. I know that with you've got some experience on the PvP side, and I kind of want to see what you think. So part of what I make like that kind of analogy between the PvP scene being kind of like a bunch of neckbeards up in a tower. It's really tough to get up there. PvE is designed for you to win. Like, it's designed so that more often than not, you will go in there and win. PvP is not designed around anything. It's just a forum space, and everyone else is designing ways for you to lose. So, like, every single matchup is a new boss mechanic, a new boss fight that like, if you haven't walked into that boss fight before and you don't know the mechanics for that boss fight, you're going in there without watching the Fat Boss Guide, man. You know what I mean? So, like, that's, and I think that's something that is a big shock to someone. So what you get then is, unless you're like a sweaty PvE guy who like tracks your whole raid's cooldowns, and you're like, don't you dare blow that AP right now. Like, we need that AP and the combust during this phase. You know, like, you know, unless you're super sweaty in PvE and knowing and tracking what everyone's doing, you don't really have the. You have to retrain your brain, or your game playing brain to look that way when you're playing in arenas, because arenas is an incredibly sweaty game mode.
Yep. Yes.
It's incredibly sweaty.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because that's my take.
For the most part, I think you're right. So I think Mythic Stone Legion, the way they designed the spell queuing on that fight would beg to differ, because it was just a random pile of crap. But they fixed it this last week, so what's done is done. I think, yeah, in a PvE, like a higher end Mythic raid setting, you've got a few officers or raid call people tracking cooldowns, like you're saying. We know when Healing Tide's going down. We know when we need to stack for Spirit Link. Like, somebody is tracking those cooldowns. But for the most part, 80% of your raid can get away with not even understanding what other classes are doing. So I don't need to know when the marksman is using his wild shape or like his Night Fae ability and going into his AoE burst. I don't really need to track that if I'm just a pure DPS focusing on my, parsing, doing my stuff, my individual stuff. You get into an arena setting and it's a rude awakening where if you don't understand the kit that arms warrior has going against you, and you pop a Convoke right into a Spell Reflect, or, they've got a Resto Shaman, they drop a Grounding and just neuter your whole burst window, because Grounding, how it works now, is different than how it worked in the past. So you start to develop, you need to, if you want to progress in Arena especially, you need to understand what other class kits are, and how they are going to use that against you. And it definitely creates a different way you have to approach the game, because I can't just go in and do my PvE rotation. They're going to kick me out of my Eclipse. They're going to lock me down when I've got Celestial Alignment up, line of sight me around a pillar, whatever the case might be. If I Cyclone the target that my Resto Shaman just hexed, that's a wasted CC. It creates it's a knowledge gap that is a lot larger than progressing through PvE, I think. And that's the thing I focus primarily on this game, has been high level raiding for decades now, and going into Arena, it changes every season too.
Yeah. Well, and like, so to your point, Projali, I was one of those people until I started this podcast of not knowing what the hell my raid teammates were doing.
Sure.
And so you're 100% right. Like, because when I go into a PvP situation, my first thought is, get away from me. Why are you in my face? Like, don't touch me. That's bad. And so I need to learn how to deal with that. And so it's when I get rushed, because I don't get rushed in a raid. When I get in a raid, I drop, or even in Torghast, I drop my Capacitor Totem and I Ghost Wolf this way, and I'm fine. Mm-hmm. But I can't do that in arenas. I Ghost Wolf this way, and then I get Grip back in, and then
Avatar gets popped, and
and they feed me, my own arms and legs and stuff. So
that fun Warrior Kyrian Spear. Where are you going?
So how do I? So if I'm standing at the base of Tower of Neckbeard, let's call it that. Mm-hmm. How can a player like myself, who rarely PvPs, like, how can I even begin to start thinking about how to approach storming that tower and getting in on the second floor at least? I don't have to get to the top. I just want to get enough to get my vault.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
So, I think, and Gerrisar, you may have a different take, or, Projali, you might have a different take too. I think, to get your vault, all you really need to be able to do is just have a solid foundation for your class, I would say. If you have a solid foundation for your class, and you say, hey, I'm not going to run something like silly, then, I think you can easily get your cap. Like, I was amazed that people sell carries from 0 to 1400. I'm like, you can't even lose rating.
Yeah.
Like, you just lose. Like, okay, you lost 8 in a row. Great, just next win you'll get some more rating.
Queue, yeah.
Just rest games. Like, it blows my mind. But if as long as you just if you have that solid foundation of your class and knowing, like, hey, if I'm a paladin and I died without using bubble, okay, I need to be more conscious that I have bubble ready, or just use it, or something like that. For a lot of rets nowadays, if you just press bubble, you can just run people down, like, and that's true for a lot of other classes as well. Like, whatever, dude, just earth and wall it. Earth and wall totem, just and the crazy thing about being a healer, because I play healers in arenas now too. Cy, is the tough part about this arena season right now is you have to pre everything. So, like, if you want to survive this burst from or survive midway into the game, you have to pre-earthen wall this, or swap earth shield to yourself because you're about to get opened on, or they're landing a poly on you. If you don't have shear up, you don't have grounding, you don't have a way out of it, you have to swap earthen wall to your hunter because your hunter is about to get lit up because he's got no turtle left. And so it's I'm getting away from the question now, but like as long as I feel like if you know your class, you should be able to get your vault. If you want to start being competitive on the rating ladder, then that's when you can start to look at, okay, now as a healer, I need to be able to start pre this or pre divine shield this, or you don't need a pre divine shield. You can divine shield when you're stunned, but you get my point.
Right. So Gerrisar, now you're like me, like you're not hardcore.
One of us.
Yes. How do you go into an arena? Like, do you have success? Like, I don't think I've ever won an arena match yet in my entire life playing WoW. That's how sad I am.
I know what we're doing after this. I'm going to get you world first Cy arena win.
There you go.
Step into the arena.
It's happening.
Yeah. Later tonight.
Free of charge.
The first one's always free.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You give them, the first one's always free.
So there's a couple of things I want to unpack here. So to get your vault is you have to play. First of all, you have to play some rated, right, and get enough honor or conquest points doing rated. Easiest way to do that really is just get into LFG and sign up to a YOLO RBG, because RBGs are great in the way that it's 10 people, and if you screw up, there's none of the people covering you, right? It's not a death match. It's an objective based match.
Right.
So if you die, it's not like the game all of a sudden ends and you're into the queue again because everybody walks away from that. It's the match just keeps going, right? So chances are you can still win. Now, mind you, if you're going in as a healer, that's definitely harder because chances are you're going to be one of the 2 healers or one of the 3 healers, and that can make or break a team fight or whether that push onto the objective is going to work. But if you're going to go in there as an Ellie, then you're probably going to and you're going to be able to stay back, right? And then you're going to be staying back. So then, if anybody's going to come for you, they have to get through the wall of whatever is of fellow team players. They have to get through them to get to you back there. So I think that would be in that regard, that's definitely easier. What I was doing for a while there in BFA was I would put myself up, instead of looking for people and looking for games in LFG, I posted my own, and I was very clear. I said, noob learning how to do 2s, and and I got people joining me, and they were more than willing to run. We died a few times, but they didn't run away. They're like, okay, we'll keep going, right? Especially when, like you said, if you're that 0 to 1400, you can't lose anything. So even if you lose, whatever, like nobody really lost anything. It's not like it's not like you're signing up saying you're a 2K player when you're not, and somebody's coming in with 2,100, and they just lost 150 and dropped below 2K because you lied about yourself, right? No,
Right,
be upfront, be honest what you're doing, and don't be afraid to ask for feedback. If somebody says that they,
Yes.
in between matches, some people are like, "Come on, Q," but you can still type, "Hey, I felt like I could have, did you see anything?" And chances are you might get some feedback on that. Even if it's like, if there's no voice, if it's just like texting, just in party chat, you can still get feedback that way. So I'd say do that. And if anything, all you can do is just get better, right? World of Warcraft is such a complex game that you cannot study and learn it all and have it all up here in your head before you go into it. It's like, imagine knowing before you even raid it all, period. Going in and knowing all the mechanics of all the raids that have ever been created in all of World of Warcraft, and then decide that you're going to, okay, once I know all that, then I'm going to go in because I know what to do. You're going to go in, and then because even if you watch the Fat Boss guide, you're still not, it's not until you actually play the fight, you actually kind of get a jive for how you're supposed to do that. Right? It's the same. There's that certain part where you have to just jump in and do it. Right?
Yep. Well, yeah, and you're 100% right, because, and I think that's where we ran into our roadblock, because my wife and son and I, we have no idea what the hell we're doing, so we're like, hey, and my wife's like yelling at me like, did you even try to heal me? And I was like, of course I tried. I just got murdered. I'm sorry.
Did you turn around and say, did you even try to CC them?
Yeah, I did.
Where's the freezing trap?
Yeah, I put it down. They just ran around it.
All we have to do to win is you just have to kill them.
Just do more damage than they do. Come on.
Oh man. But yeah, that's exactly right, because I mean that's what I try to tell folks like that come to me like off air, like, hey, how do I get better at this? And it's like, well, you can read the guide, but the guide's only going to get you to X. You have to get to Y. Like, you can't take what they're reading and then just like, I mastered it.
Yeah. And if you go to med school, like, you do school, and then after school you do residency. Like, you have to practice what you learn. You know?
Yeah.
And it's so true. It sounds like, wait, did he just compare World of Warcraft to medical school? Yeah, like, it's kind of
up there.
Anything that you want to be really, really good at takes a lot of applied learning. It takes applied learning, and that's incredibly true for PvP. Like, it's incredibly sweaty, bro. It's incredibly sweaty.
Yeah. Yes. And frustrating.
Yes. Yeah. I got some VODs of when we were literally just shouting at each other, like, just this week. Because I'm OBS recording our games.
Oh my,
that's awesome.
No wonder your hard drive keeps filling up. Jeez, man.
Yeah, my external now.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess so. The other thing I would say is, definitely. So guides are great for 80%. I think if anything, we found over the time that we've invited guests onto the show, these experts. We'll bring up a guide. I've read the guide just to make sure I have a good concept of what it is. And I've lost track of the number of times that the person that's on the show isn't the person that wrote the guide. Right. And they're like, oh no, and like on the guide it'll be like, this is the best spec. And then the person we're talking to is like, oh no, not that. That's that. Don't do that one. Do this talent choice, or do this.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's so. You have to still experiment. You can't just take a guide for the gospel truth. And I remember that. What was it? Oh, I'm gonna get the. It must have been. I think it was Warlords of Draenor time period. I remember there was a guide. I want to say it was for Windwalker, and at the time there was like the stats. The min max for statting was you could go like heavy mastery, or you could go heavy crit or heavy haste or something like that. And there was like it depended on how you want to play the style, right? And I remember
like reforging.
Well, just where you wanted the stats, where your stat weights, where you wanted your stat weights to show up. And I remember later on, the season had ended, and the person who wrote the guide also did a podcast. And I remember talking. They're saying how it was hardest thing for them because they actually felt that haste was the better, and it ended up being like the better stat weighting for that spec.
Mm-hmm.
But they had actually bent to community where people wanted just a answer, not you do this or that or that and have the explanation. They just wanted an answer, so they just picked the one, and it actually the person felt bad for it because they're like, it's not the best answer. There was like so many different nuances of how you in gameplay and all, but the community just wanted the one answer, and I feel like myself, like I don't know how many times I look up a guide just because it's fast, it's easy, right? Like I don't want to go through hours of studying trying to figure out what and mathemating it out of my head. But in the end, like I said, the guide will get you 80% there. You still need to be able to figure out what's good for your playstyle. One other thing, it's kind of the rule of thumb right now is to really start feeling comfortable in PvP. Around 20% versatility. That's really what will make you a bit more survivable, and it will make you feel more comfortable in the PvP situations. You can get that through the unrated, just through honor gear. You can also get that through your covenant gear. That actually has some hefty versatility on it. So with that, you should be able to at least then you're not going in with zero versatility, because trust me, you'll feel the difference.
You're gonna get vaporized.
Oh, it's a huge difference. Yeah.
Oh man, like that's like going in with paper underwear and wondering why it's not. Yeah,
why it's so cold.
Yeah,
it's a little chilly in here, guys. I don't know.
Paper's actually kind of a good insulator, so I don't know if that's the best analogy, but hey, we'll go with it, right?
Yeah. You're real noisy. Not an advantage in PvP, you know.
Yeah. Sorry. Paper underwear doesn't work when you're sweaty gaming. I'll just say that.
True.
Truth.
Oh man.
Man. Start getting all chafy and oof.
That's what Vaseline's for, right? Anyway.
But I think that's right.
I prefer not to use the Vaselines in Arena, but that's okay.
When you're newer and getting into Arena, I think you definitely want to just play.
Yeah.
Just play. Do a quick reflection with your teammates after the game, like, all right, what happened there? What did it look like? Okay, where did the rogue blinded us here, kidney shotted there? What was that setup? Could we have done something different to react to that? Oh, I blew my trinket on the first sap, and then that just try and walk through the chain of events. And as you get more comfortable with the games, you'll start to pick up patterns like, oh, what are these other classes doing against me?
Yeah.
And then that kind of like you said with the guides, those are a good starting base. Like here's a all around talent setup that's probably good, but it's not going to necessarily explain when you could get away with going this talent. Am I going to get focused? Do I want Guardian Affinity for the damage reduction, or can I get away with re-stealthing, getting a nice cat stun, on their healer into a cyclone? There's different ways to play, and each class has those little nuances. And I think those are the things that you pick up after hours of just playing the game.
Oh, totally.
Accepting you're going to lose a lot. You are getting into this, you're going to lose a ton, and you got to be comfortable with that for a while.
Yeah, just but it's feel good when you win, though, too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
So you take the good with the bad. Yeah,
it'll start clicking.
Yeah,
exactly.
And because you had lost so much, it's going to feel really good. It's like, haha, sucker.
Yeah.
Do now, you know what I mean? So I think for me, starting out, what helped me a ton was watching other people who made content around PvP for the class that I was playing. So at the time, I was playing a mage. I watched Zaryu's videos, who is a really, really well-known mage, and he has been for a long time. He's been making YouTube video content around the mage class in PvP for years. I've watched his videos inside out and backwards to the point where I would that's how I was executing exactly how he would execute in those types of things. And so that helped me a ton to be able to get a feel for okay, how do I play on a higher level? What do I need to be doing? What do my button presses need to look like? And why is he pressing this button now? Why is when is the best time to be using alter time at the time? Or when should I have my deep freeze available and stuff like this? So, or what's going through his head? And and any good type of content creator will put these things out, especially in their videos, because they want to put out good content. So
right.
I think that's free coaching.
Basically,
it's free coaching.
Yep.
The next round's 20K.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I will say there's a ton of discords out there. There's a lot of the class discords have PvP sections where you can ask questions. Or you can just if you don't want to ask the question, you could definitely do a search. I guarantee you're going to find this similar questions in almost all those. There's the World of PvP subreddit. There's a ton of people on that one. Again, search or ask blindly. There's the World of PvP Discord as well. Then there's also like I said, I mentioned it before, but the Oasis community Discord. They have a number of people. There's a bunch of PvP Q&A that happens there, as well as LFG. There's a bunch of people on there looking for people to play with, right? Of all skill levels, RBG and arena. Like it's just and I've noticed the same thing even on some of the esports organizations. They have LFGs on there. There's a bunch of these, again, back to the content creators, a bunch of them have Discords where you can communicate with like-minded people as well. So, I mean, there's a huge amount of places you can go to ask those questions. So, especially when you start running into, like, hey guys, I'm playing 2's Resto Druid Marksman Hunter, and I keep getting trained. Like, we just can't get past the Windwalker Arms Warrior. Like, we just can't get past them. How do you guys do that? It's like, oh well, do this, watch for this, do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the other thing this season, I've heard a few other places. Andallyn, you mentioned it. With the strength of healing right now, it seems like everything seems to happen into the burst. You even see this in the on the AWC that we've been watching, where consistent damage is being healed. The strength of the healers is able to out heal the consistent damage, and it just doesn't. At best, you'll get to the mana game where the enemy healer goes but chances are that you're going to be getting some pretty deep dampening by the time that actually happens. Really, the kills are happening into the CCs and burst, right? They CC the healer and they burst on the target, or and that's how it's been happening. So I think that's also something is probably what you're feeling there, Cy, that you were mentioning is, you're just getting bursted on, and it's just hard, right?
Unwanted bursting upon it.
and I hate when that happens.
Yeah. So surprising.
It is.
Yeah.
You quickly find yourself in a sticky situation.
I was trying not to go there. My brain, double entendre brain was just starting to kick. I'm like, nope, not gonna. Nope. Oh, there it is.
Well,
I was told we got to have fun on this.
That's true.
Well, cool. Well, I think that's some great baseline information to get started.
Yeah.
So,
as a last piece of advice, if I may.
Yes. Oh, go for it.
Surround yourself with like-minded people.
Oh, yeah.
The arena community, and especially the RBG community, can be very toxic. But it's also important as a new player to recognize the difference between, like, hey, this person's being toxic, like, in the sense that they're being rude or abrasive towards me because maybe they just are, for whatever reason, just saying obnoxious crap, or they're trying to be sometimes, even though someone's being abrasive and obnoxious, you can learn from them. I've done it myself. The guy I play with is abrasive and obnoxious. I'll tell you that right now. But some people turn away. But we've also brought some people on, and they've gotten so much better because they just say, okay, get rid of that crap, and you just like honestly, if you're gonna go into LFG, you're gonna find some of that. Take it for what it's worth. Like if they have something of value and they give it to you abrasively, just take whatever they have of value and say, see ya.
Yeah. No, that's a great point, because, I mean, that, on top of losing, on top of learning, on top of all the other crap, when someone says, hey, you suck, hit your buttons harder, and it's like, well, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll hit them harder and do things more faster. I don't know.
Yeah, just play better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
That's the best advice, yeah.
What does that mean?
Get good.
So, well, cool.
Yeah.
No, I
but
think
it's
that's
important
great.
to surround yourself with those like-minded people, because if you're also around someone who's like has the same goals as you do, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Well, and if you're with a buddy, like if I'm playing with Projali and he's like, "Hey, Cy, you really missed that hex there, pal, and we died because of it," or if he comes at me a little more spicy, I'm gonna take it a little easier than some schmo off the internet.
Of course,
true.
Yeah, it can get heated in arena. I mean, you're trying to make calls quick, and people are talking over each other, and it could be like just a quick, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
Then you take a few seconds to cool down, and you can talk about it. Like, I think that's right. You find people who have similar goals to you.
Yeah.
Ideally, better. People who are better than you. Because if you can surround yourself with people who are better than you, that gives you learning opportunities, rather than always being, the king of a short pile. Yeah. You don't really learn.
It's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, cool. I think we covered a lot of really good stuff here. I know we kind of strayed from the notes, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I feel like our conversation was awesome. But let's move into some of the more fun. Now, this is my favorite part of the show. Like, as someone who embraces the scrubness and my shortcomings, I like hearing about other people's mess ups too. So let's dive into some of those. So, Andallyn, let's start with you. What has been your favorite scrub moment that you've ever achieved?
Like, me personally?
Yeah. In game, not outside of game. I'm sure there's all kinds of fun stuff you can do outside of game.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of in game, but or outside of game and in game. But so this is what's been the latest one that's been plaguing me. So, as a disc priest right now, there's this cool ability that boomkins have that's called Convoke the Spirits. All right? And it's really awesome because I don't have anything for it. Like, I don't have grounding or divine shield or anything like that. That would be like, I'm okay. I can live this. So what I have to do is I have to pop Power Infusion, Pain Suppression, and Rapture and spam shields on myself if I want to win. So what I have is I have a cast sequence macro where I can just go and live.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, that cast sequence macro is also the same button that used to be bound to my currency button. Because for whatever reason, I just have a weird habit of just, look, how much honor do I have, every once in a while. So, I've accidentally been checking, I wonder how much conquest I have before the arena gates open. And immediately upon that button press, I pop Pain Suppression, PI, Rapture, all my cooldowns in the starting room, and my teammates will go, nice. All right.
It's pre-pot,
I will
baby. Don't
say,
worry about it.
the last time I did that, we still won.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Thank God for 1200 rating.
1900s MMR, mind you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Garrisar, how about you? What have you got going for us?
Okay, this goes back a few months back into BFA. So there's a gentleman, Flark. He has his own stream. He always does carries for viewers or carry for followers and that.
Mm-hmm.
So you just go into his Twitch chat. He'll do an exclamation coach, and he'll bring you on. Just do a BNet. He'll bring you into a couple arenas, and the guy's he's great. Like, he plays DK to a very high level, and and along the way you learn a little bit of stuff, and you get some CR out of it. So one night I was watching his stream and that, and I happened to be online playing. I was like, well, sure, why not? Exclamation coach, and bing. Hey, Gerrisar, congratulations! I'm like, oh boy, okay, yeah.
Here we go.
And I was playing my Destro Lock too at the time, so I was like, all right. So we hop into and we're not in voice. I'm actually listening to him through the stream, so there's that little bit of a delay, right? So the gates are starting. I'm like, in game, I'm like, dude, what are we doing? All of a sudden, the gates open, and I hear him say, okay, we're going to go for this class. I'm like, okay. And I go into the pillar, and one of them, they both charge. The one that I wasn't supposed to go on was the one that hit on. It just started training me. So I'm like, all right, I gotta push back. So I started DPSing back on him, and all of a sudden I hear him on chat. He's like, so I don't know what the Warlock's doing because he's not doing what I said he was supposed to do. Why is he hitting that other guy? We're supposed to be training this guy. Anyway, it was a mess. I ended up he ran over to do something, so I CC'd the other one, and then that one got off of me. It was a complete mess. I truly looked like the noob that I am on the podcast, and I am a noob, right? So it fit, but yeah, I look like a complete zero CR scrub. Like I didn't know what the heck I was doing. It was great.
I'm proud of you.
Oh,
that's beautiful. It's a beautiful story. It sounds like pretty much all of my arena runs.
So I'm in the Navy, right? And I have a bunch of Army buddies, and it's a saying that everybody says is that any plan fails upon first contact.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's so
planning
true.
is essential.
Yeah,
right?
you have to plan. But
Winston Churchill, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do not expect your plan to go off just the way you thought it was going to in your head. Those doors open, you're up against living people. Like all they have to do is push one button, and all of a sudden you have to change.
Yeah. Game over.
It is what it is.
Quickly.
Anyway.
Nice. That was
What
a fun
about you,
one.
Cy?
Projali, what do you got going?
So
Sorry, I think we spoke at the same time.
we did. I think so. You've got the more powerful mic. It's fine. The
Just say it louder, and that's how it works.
I try and block my scrub moments out in my head because they happen so often in Arena. But the one that sticks out to me most recently was early on in this tier when we were trying to gear up more and just pushing, for 16, 1800, whatever it was in threes, I think. It was late night after a raid, so we're going on like hour 6 or 7 of playing the game straight. I'm just like, I just need this rating before Tuesday reset. Let's just get this done. I made a balanced druid, and our forms, druid forms, give you quite a bit of advantage against some sort of CCs.
Yep.
Their comp had a resto shaman a holy paladin and an Ellie shaman. And the entire game, I kept wondering, why is repentance on me? You can go cat form, you can go bear form to prevent getting repentance. Kept happening. And I was like, it's not working. And then somehow I would end up in caster form and be able to get hexed by the shaman, which Moonkin form's immune to hex. And this kept repeatedly happening over and over again. I'm getting yelled at by my teammates. Why is their warrior just sitting on me? Root him, please God, cycle in somebody. And I'm just sitting there repentance and hexed perma around the corner. It's the worst game of my life. And then looking back through it, I was like, oh yeah, I should never get hit by repentance. Ever.
Why were you out of form? Were you casting Rejuve by accident and putting yourself into caster form or something?
I think I threw a Swiftmend at some point. I think for some reason I was playing Resto Affinity instead of Guardian because I was like, I'm not going to get focused this game. It's fine.
You're right. You weren't focused. You were just repentant.
I was not. They're just like, oh, this is really good. This Boomkin has no idea what he's doing.
That's awesome.
So that was my scrub moment. Never again shall I get repentance.
That's a good one, though. That's a good.
I realized midway through that I actually have a better one because in BFA, I played more than half an arena season as a holy paladin with a strength weapon on.
I'm sure those Crusader strikes were pretty strong, though, huh?
Yeah, big damn judge. Oh man,
man.
Yeah, so.
You're going battle paladin right there, baby.
I've never been more disappointed with myself. Absolutely never. Bar none.
How did you feel when you realized that happened, though? Were you just like,
it wasn't even me.
Shit.
Like my buddy, my arena partner was like, he's like, he's just like, he was just going off on me, right? And he's just like, yeah, this freaking loser he's got a strength weapon on, and then he's going off. He's like, wait a second, why the fuck do you even have a strength weapon? I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Just like, oh no.
Oops. That's beautiful.
That's when you counter with, but we still won games, right? Just imagine if I had the intellect weapon.
Yeah, I've only been missing like 20% of my main stat. Like,
right?
It's fine.
Oh man, I put on an intellect weapon and I was just like, dude, I have throughput.
This is crazy. What is this? Holy shock.
He's like, yeah, congrats. So now you get to play your class, dude. Like,
oh my goodness.
Well, I'm gonna.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
I have to admit that's one thing that I found very interesting with some gear is when you have the gear where it switches stats depending on what spec you are, and then like they always do that where there's like a couple gear that'll switch around and then some gear that just doesn't, and and they'll screw you up if you're not paying attention to that. Yeah,
oh, it's bad. It's a big deal.
It can be, yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, although not having 3 sets of gear inside my bags is kind of nice too.
That's true too. I do like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna do something a little different since my arena time is just an entire it's just one giant scrub moment. I'm gonna do a positive moment here, a reverse scrub moment, if you will. And it wasn't in arena because I don't have any good moments out of arena. But we're doing Winter Grasp, and I was Resto Shaman, and it was myself and like 4 other dudes holding the horde in the sunken area. So they were pulling out, like it was literally just the 4 of us, and we were killing them as they came out. And so we had one guy in a Destro shooting down into the entrance, and then the other 3 of us were like down here kind of killing everybody as they came out. So I was keeping everybody alive, and the other 2 were killing them. And a warrior snuck by me and was hurting our Destro. And I think this warrior also doesn't play PvP all the time. Because I went up there and I faced off with him one-on-one. And picture the Sharks versus the Jets only with butter knives. Because that's how long this fight took. And I ended up killing him.
Good job.
And I was like, yes!
Nice.
That was the best moment I've ever had in PvP. Like, in a battleground. I've had some fun, like, world PvP moments, but that one stuck out in my mind. Because he was a warrior, he couldn't heal himself. So it's just slowly chunking him down. And then he would hit me real hard, I'd heal myself back up, and then eventually I won, like, 10 minutes later.
You know how to be better at PvP?
How's that?
Whenever you kill him, you say, "Oh yeah, nice die by the sword, scrub. Try press and drink it next time." Now you're better at PvP.
There we go.
You did it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yep.
Oh man, well that was such a fun conversation.
Yep.
A lot of great knowledge. I appreciate you guys coming on. Like, where can we find you guys? Like, I know you have the podcast. Great podcast, by the way. I love your stuff.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
But where else can we find you?
Andallyn, how about you? You usually start us off when we do that on the show.
Where's my show notes? Oh no. Yeah, right. So let's see. So we try to stay pretty active on the Twitters. So our handle is @technically_PvP. So if you don't mind and if you enjoy the show, or even you just kind of like to see some of the stuff we put out, throw us a follow. We'd love for you to listen to the show too. You can also find us over at the Warcraft Radio Discord. Our podcast is under the umbrella of Warcraft Radio. We have partnered up with them in their initiative, and we believe in what they're trying to do around the community, and we're big supporters and fans. So
exactly,
we have our own little channel called Technically PvP in the Warcraft Radio Discord, where we have great conversations with a lot of different regulars and a lot of cool, really dedicated people in the PvP community who also use that space routinely and regularly just to kind of talk about what's going on, or maybe just voice concerns, vent, or share some of the most like hot release, kind of most up-to-date news and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, I still remember that heated debate we had about PvP gearing during the beta. That was
oh my gosh.
I think it still comes up every once in a while. It's great.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people had to mute Discord for that. Just like, oh my god.
It's not that bad.
Those are the best
so
debates.
I mean, really, the easiest thing, like Andallyn was saying, just warcraftradio.com. You'll find the link to the Discord there. You'll find updates about our show. If you really want to find the show, just do a Google search, technically PvP, and trust me, it'll show up. We're on all the apps.
You say it like it's a bad thing. You're like, hey, if you really want to find the show,
I mean, it's pull my arm.
I mean, whatever, weirdo. Like,
I am so horrible at self promotion.
I feel your pain, man.
It's
yeah.
I can talk for days and I can do this, but if you ask me to try to brag about myself, it's just I feel creepy doing it. What can I say? But yeah, and then I think if you really want to, so Andallyn, you have your own Twitter as well, right? Over I think it's Andallyn1.
Yes,
and
just Andallyn1. I just kind of tweet out stuff that I'm feeling at the time, or just kind of like, I try to stay abreast of like all the esports type of stuff like that. So I'm very involved and heavily involved in that scene. I used to work for Method, and we did the Method Mayhem series, and so I mean I've organized all of the PvP tournaments that have gone on pretty much outside of the official capacity ones. So
nice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, very cool.
Heck yeah, man.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, if you really, really want to, piss Andallyn off in the YouTube chat, because he's also been moderating the Warcraft, the World of Warcraft stuff over there.
Oh, I'm sure that is a blast. Some of those comments, man, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a fun,
just
it's a
get
fun
you a
gig.
good, or you could just make my day and just get a really good copy pasta. Those are the best.
Oh yeah, good cost. I when I was even when I'm just sitting in there, when you see good copy pasta come through, it usually gets a good chuckle out of me. I enjoy those.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
nice. Well, thanks again, guys. That was so fun. I appreciate it.
It was awesome.
Well, thanks for the invite. You guys have been awesome.
I was going to mention, Projali, you've been posting your guys' guild kills on your YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've been doing that since BOD. Yep, so continuing on with that trend into Nathria.
Nice. Yeah, and that's the _Projali for YouTube, is that right?
No, that's my Twitter, I think. YouTube is Projali LN.
That's right. I should know that.
And we usually post just guild shenanigan clips at the end of each kill video too. So the one time I forget every tier to find one of those clips, I get like 10 guildies messaging me like, where the hell is somebody saying something dumb at the end of this video? I was like, sorry man, you want to go through 12 hours of raid recordings and find one? Be my guest.
Yeah, unpaid by the way. So
yeah, exactly.
Yep. Thanks for your time. Yeah.
Your feedback is well received.
Yeah.
And thanks for listening to the show, everyone. You can find us over on Twitter at ScrubsVerse. You can find Projali on Twitter at TheProjali. You can find my personal Twitter at Cyrub_KOC. If you want to come hang out with the Knights of Chipotle every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. at twitch.tv/Cyrub, you're more than welcome to come hang out and watch the magic unfold. Or wiping. Magic wipe, whatever. And either way, it's going to be a good time. And if you want to look up some of Projali's guild's kills, you can go look up his channel at ProjaliLN on YouTube. Wherever you are out there, I hope you're having a great day and staying safe. But most importantly, I hope you're all getting good.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com.